Hey everybody, this is Matt Mahoney with Rackham. So today we're going to talk about workflows. Everybody's talking about workflows and automation and the value of that, right? That's the topic of the day, and it's been that way for a while actually. So what I want to talk about is nested workflows. So a lot of people have workflows here and there and everywhere in different spots in their overall process, their game plan, the automation that they've put together either in the digital workflow or in physical production. So what I want to show you is how you can take these different workflows and pockets of workflows and weave them together into a master workflow that can then feed a dashboard and makes a lot of sense for most of the businesses out there. So let's take a look. Let's go to the whiteboard. Alright, so when I was talking about nested workflows, this is what I mean. You have data processing, we'll call it DP, and document comp. The composition tools, all the data processing that goes on, the prep and postal process and hygiene, upper lowercase, all that. And then you're composing personalized documents or messages, doesn't have to be a document. And then there's a lot of times people do this thing called post-comp. So post-composition, that's where you're getting stuff ready usually for physical production. So you may be merging small jobs to make a big one, you might be adding barcodes, you may, if you're a service bureau, you're getting PDFs and PostScript AOP from your customers, then you may use PostComp to apply your barcodes and create MRDF files for inserting and all of that. But when we look at this, and I'll just put production out here too, physical production, then you're going to see workflows in various, one more thing, sorry, let's add multi-channel. Okay, and then, print is one of those things. You have email. You have SMS or text, and you have other channels. So we'll just say like that. Then the traditional products that you've seen grow over the last 15 to 20 years, let's say, is that you have automation around document composition. So the composition providers, the software developers in this area, have expanded to provide automation and ETL tools that allow you to get the data in, put it in a certain structure that feeds the document templates, and that's all automated and outcomes, some kind of format that might go through various channels. You have post-composition providers that have developed workflows in this area. Maybe even dashboards. You might find dashboards that are unique to that particular vendor who's created that workflow in that area. And then you have multi-channel workflows where you may have customer preferences that are managed and known in a database here somewhere with these tools. And you're looking at things like HubSpot, Marketo, lots of others that are smaller in that space. In post-composition, you might be looking at Solimar, Crawford, Compart, those kinds of companies. In .comp, you're looking at Quadient, and you're looking at OpenText, and Planet Press, Objective Loom, and many others. And so those companies have developed specialty workflows and dashboards in their space. And even in printing and inserting, you might find like an Ironsides with their APT system, and they have a dashboard there too for insertion control and that kind of thing. So they're on the little dashboard. So pockets of automation is what we're talking about. Islands of technology, nothing new, right? We've dealt with this for years and years. So the concept that I'm talking about is an overriding workflow system that allows you to tie together these pockets of workflows, nested workflows that feed the master workflow system. So that orchestrates everything. In fact, you'll hear Gartner talking a lot about this lately, where you need better orchestration in the organization because you still have, even though you have orchestration in pockets of the workflow, you need something overriding. And then that would be a dashboard that everybody can use. So the concept I want to share with you is this one of having a master workflow system on top of other workflows that you have in your environment. Because you have good workflows, you've been using them for a long time, you can't really throw them away and start over. You don't want to do that. So we take an orchestration engine overriding all of those pockets of workflows, so call them nested workflows, and that gives you the master orchestration, which then feeds the bigger dashboard. So people don't have to go to a dashboard from each company's technology, each vendor that you're working with. Single source of truth, all the stakeholders can go to that place and trust the information. This is where Rackham plays. We have our alchemy system here. that has the workflow and the dashboard. And if you don't need all of that, you can buy smaller components that fill gaps in your systems as well. So if you'd like to learn more, you can go to rackame.com or email me at mmahoney@rackame.com. Thanks for joining.